What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XCN, OnxyCoin. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Let's get into it. I want to try and talk about this without talking about myself too much, but the last video I made for OnxyCoin was, XCN short-term plays, so I want to address that real quick. Some of the short-term plays that I've had, and all of this that I'm talking about right now is in reference to short-term, right? The long-term stuff, the predominant bag, which is my largest hold in crypto, which is XCN, that hasn't changed. I haven't touched that. I haven't moved that at all. I have some short-term plays that I've been messing with. XCN was the short-term play today, right? We sold up here, or at least I sold up here. I bought in back here. I literally skimmed the lows, man. I got the lows. I was expecting to buy some more, right? Some of the funds that I sold up here, I had buy orders that were lower that never got hit. Once we broke out, I filled those orders up, still below where I sold, and I rode this thing basically all the way up. Not to these prices. I have gotten out again. I did sell right here, just keeping it up to date with the short-term plays. Sometimes you sell and the price continues to go on, and that's okay. If XCN does continue to rip, I've got my long-term bags, and I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. It can rip without me. There's plenty of other coins that I have my eyes on that I'm willing to put money into. But if not, I think that it will come back. I think that we probably do retrace. And in fact, I have some buy orders right now, personally, for XCN at layered between 2.4 and 2.5 cents, right? 2.4 and 2.5 cents. That's the area that I'm looking to buy. If you want to invalidate the idea of going lower, if you want to just keep going higher, I suppose, just keep doing that. But what target would I need to see to kind of invalidate the idea that we go lower at all? From a high to a low, we're in our golden ratio zone. Yes, this is what made me sell. I basically sold right before we hit the golden ratio there in anticipation of some front running, which we didn't get, but that's okay. I'm okay with not selling the absolute high of a move. I can sell just below it. It can go up without me. I'm fine with that. I just want to get in and I want to get out. I would expect that the move goes down at least down to here. That's at 2.5 cents right there. And then the 382 all the way down here. That's a very common maneuver to make when interacting with your golden ratios, to pull back to your 0.5 or your 382. 2.34 cents to 2.5 cents is where I think it's going to go. To invalidate that notion, you basically have to get above the 786, okay? You have to get all the way above 3 cents. So really selling here, just below this white line here, actually just below the price, basically right where it's at now, but just a little bit lower. Selling here, if it goes all the way up here, we're fine. We're still fine. It can reject off the 786 and go all the way back to the 382. That happens. We can even go all the way up to the 886 and go back to the 382, but it's less common, okay? Generally speaking, as long as we're rejecting off of this area, I feel like this 0.5 to 382 retracement is in the bag. So that's what I'm anticipating personally. It's a very common thing to do. If we look at the low, the relative low here to the relative high, potentially that's the relative high. We don't know yet. There's no confirmation on that yet. Going back to the 382 of this move would also be something that we'd expect to see, and that's very near the 382 of this move here. So I'm thinking something around 2.34 cents. My buy orders, my lowest buy order is set at like 2.41 cents, something like that. So again, I don't care to catch the exact low. I don't care to catch the exact bottom. Perfect example as to why, right? The perfect example as to why would be this move here, okay? From a low to a relative high, we should have pulled back to the 382, and that's where the bottom of my buy orders were there, right? But I had some buy orders that were set up a little bit higher just in case, right? And I caught the actual lows. I didn't mean to. I was expecting to buy the lows and for the price to go lower still. I was expecting to fill my bags and for the price to go lower, but that's why I trade the way I do, is because at least there, I got some in there. By the time it broke out and it looked like it was breaking out to the upside, I could allocate the rest of my money in there and then catch that next move, right? Instead of having no allocation at all down here because I have lower targets that may or may not get hit. And that's the whole point that I'm trying to address now. Likely we go to the 0.5, likely we go to the 382, and even by this fib alone, that's the case. From this fib with the added layer from that high to low there, low to high there, the 382 down here, it would make a lot of sense to go down to 2.38 cents at least or lower. But my lowest buy order for XCN right now, it's just above that. It's at 2.4 cents. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that. That's just my trades, my trading style, okay? Oftentimes, in fact, if you were to copy me, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if you were to copy me, you would probably do better if you sold just above where I sold, if you bought just below where I bought, right? And I make it very clear as to when I buy and sell. So there was some guy actually telling me that he made some money on XCN today, and he made more money than I did, man. So I'm saying you can make more, you can do better than I do if you just wait for me to say that I bought. You probably wait like an hour or a day, and you're probably going to get a better chance to buy, because I really don't try to buy the low. I try to buy before the low is my style. You know, 9 out of 10 times it'll work in your favor. 1 out of 10 times it'll work in my favor. But enough about me. Enough about you. Let's talk about XCN. Let's get back to work here. We're at 2.7 cents now. Again, at this relative from a low to a high. The relative, no, that's not what I meant to do. I'm sorry. This relative low here to this relative high here. Is it the high to low? Sorry, it might be the high to low. Relative high to low, we're at the golden ratio. Okay, yes, and it looks like we're pulling back. We probably do pull back. Again, 2.5 cents to 2.34 cents is where I would think we go. If we're on a 4-hour basis, we have 1 hour and 40 minutes left. It doesn't have to happen right now, but if we were lingering in this area for the next hour and 40 minutes and we closed around here, that'd be a nice area to reject off the overbought zone. It'd be a nice area to reject off the fibs. I feel like it would be a long time to stay up here, just knowing the nature of XCN. It likes to be very volatile, so I'm not asking for that, expecting that, but a close here would be a nice little setup for a rejection down. But also moving down immediately would be a nice setup as well. If we look at the 1 hour RSI, you are overbought. You're in a nice little uptrend here, and what I've been saying, I feel like the phrase of the week or the phrase of the past few days has been, when you're in an uptrend and you get into the overbought zone, that tends to be the end of your uptrend. That doesn't mean that it's at the end necessarily. This is just the 1 hour time frame. You break out of this, you might correct for a day or for 6 hours or 12 hours, and then you're back in your next uptrend, you know what I mean? But you can't go above the 100. These uptrends, they tend to end in the overbought zone for that reason, because you can't really see too much higher prices. I do accept that you could go lower here, find support, and then have one last little run, one last hoorah into the overbought zone, maybe reaching for the 90. I accept that. But if that's the case, a move down from here on the RSI, if we were to kind of go in respects of these lows here, something like this maybe, or something like this maybe, one of these lines here, you know, at a minimum, I would expect that you go back just outside of the overbought zone, and that would probably take us below, that'd take us around 2.5 cents, right? And that's the minimum target, so that's fine. If we find support, you guys, if we find support at 2.5 or 2.55 cents, and we're back up above 2.7 cents, if you find support at 2.5 or above there, and then you're back above 2.7 cents, we likely do run all the way up to 3 cents before seeing a more major correction. But even if that's to happen, right, even if we were to go all the way up to 3 cents, all the way up right there, before seeing a more significant correction, likely we would still pull back to prices that are even lower than this. So me, as a patient investor, right, if the price doesn't come down to where I'm looking to buy and it rips without me, I'm not going to chase. I'm going to wait. Maybe it comes back anyways. Maybe it goes to the areas I'm looking to buy. Maybe instead of chasing, I look for something that hasn't blown up, like Cookie. Cookie Dow looks pretty good right now. Not trying to throw any... trying to take anything away from XCN here, right? I love XCN, but I think Cookie's going to blow up pretty well, right? There's plenty of other coins like Mana, Decentraland, Sandbox, AIOZ, LCX. There's so many coins, you guys. Swift Coin, ACH, right? Some coins that maybe might be more in your guys' repertoire. There's plenty of projects that haven't pumped as much as XCN. If this thing just keeps flying, I'll look elsewhere. There's no pressure. There should be no pressure. If you're doing these short-term trades with me or on your own, you should. I mean, I say with me. Obviously, I'm not holding your hand or doing that because I can't hold your hand. I'm not making videos 24/7. But if you're doing these short-term plays in this range and you're stressed, you're doing it wrong. It should be no stress at all, man. Because even if you do it wrong, look at me, man. I sold basically. Let me see. I sold lower than this. The prices that I sold were lower than the current price. Okay, basically right here, and it went higher. It went a whole how much percentage higher did it go? It went up only 4% higher. But you know, sometimes whenever you sell and it goes up a little bit more, it can make you feel like you sold at the wrong time, and then you're emotional. If it goes all the way up to 3 cents, especially so, you might FOMO back in. Don't do that. Don't FOMO. There should be no pressure trading this right now, because again, XCN's very volatile. Even if it does run all the way up to 3 cents, it likely pulls back to prices that are even lower than it's at now, so there's no pressure. Even if it goes up to 3 cents and it doesn't pull back to prices that it's at now, it's something higher, and then it keeps ripping without you. There's no pressure because there's so many coins out there, you guys. And ideally, if you're like me, you're not trading with a large portion of your XCN. You have 97 or more % of what you're holding in XCN. It should just be holding. You're not touching it. So that if you're wrong, if you sell early with your fun money, your serious money gets a real kick and you're winning anyways. You don't even care that you're wrong because you're making money hand over fist one way or another. That's how you're doing it right. That's how you know you're doing it right, whenever you're making money when you're wrong. All right? That's how you know you're doing it right. That's how the pros do it, right? Anybody can make profits, but only the pros take profits. I'm done philosophizing. Let's get into this now. 15-minute time frame, lower highs on the price, or on the RSI, higher highs on the price, lower levels of volume as well. That's bearish divergence on a few different fronts. Bearish divergence on a few different fronts, okay? This divergence started back here. You've already moved back here, so you don't need to go lower. That could have been it. It really could have been it. But I do expect we go lower. If we look at XCN, we look at the 1 hour time frame, you can see that whenever you had this move up here, where did you pull back to, right? Here was your previous area of resistance right there. Even right here was your previous area of resistance. You went below it. You went right below it. On your next move up after you consolidated, you broke out. Where was your previous area of resistance? It was right here. You went below it, right below it, both times, right? Here, we broke out again. Where's the previous area of resistance? It's right here at about 2.5 cents. I would suspect that we do go just below it. And again, something around probably just below 2.4 cents, if not 2.3 and a half, 2.35 cents, something in that area. I don't expect that we go lower than 2.35 cents personally. If we do, that's fine. This thing's not broken, but if we do, that just means we're seeing a more serious correction back down to 2.2 to 2.1 cents. I do not expect that we get below 2.1 cents, but even if we do, we're fine, you guys. No need to panic, okay? Really, there's no pressure at all. It just means that all the money making's put on pause for a day or two. But as of right now, genuinely as of right now, I think that was the low. I very much think that was the low. We're getting some volume coming in as we're breaking out. It feels like there's new life, right? Things are happening kind of exactly as I thought they were. We're moving up, but it's less dramatic. It's less fast and sporadic as it was before. This is a little bit more methodical. And I really do anticipate that if you're paying attention and if you do this right, and I'm not suggesting this for everybody, but for people who are comfortable with it, for people who are using 1 to 3%, maybe even less than 3%, maybe even less than 1% of what your XCN's holdings are. If you're using just a small amount and you're trading and you're having some fun, it's gambling. Treat it like gambling, okay? Trading, you can have an edge and it can be more of a science than gambling, but it's still gambling. It's still guessing. I love, my favorite thing, I'm on a whole different tangent here. My favorite thing is when I get haters in the comments who say, he's just guessing. It's like, no shit. That's what what you think the weatherman's doing anything but guessing? It's all guessing, man. It's all, every single moment of your life is a guess. Of course it's guessing. Of course that's what I'm doing. Any person who says that it's not a guess, they're lying to you. So thank you. Yes, I'm guessing. That's all I'm doing, and that's all that we are doing. And if you're guessing properly, if you know how to guess properly, or at least you know how to manage yourself properly if you're wrong in your guesses, I think this is a very tradable range. I've been having fun doing it. I've made a few trades today, man. It's very fun. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but again, at any moment, we just found our low. At any moment, this thing can do exactly what it's done beforehand. But I'm kind of suspecting that at this point, working our way throughout this range, I think it'll be more methodical, unlike it was, either of these times. And then once we get to this high point, once we start getting above like 4.5 cents, maybe 4 cents itself, that's when I would expect that we start to see these more explosive movements that you don't want to trade. You just want to hold through and get off the ship once you're on the moon. You know what I mean? I hope that all makes sense. I got nothing else to say. I'm jacked right now, one way or another, man. I would love it if XCN went down to 2.4 to 2.5 cents and I got filled on my short-term plays. I would love it even more if I was wrong and we just exploded from here. So one way or another, I'll be back with another video on XCN tomorrow morning in about 12 hours. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. We'll see where we go from here. Hopefully we can make some more trades before things get too crazy. But ultimately, you guys know where it's going, right? We always talk about it, but I didn't talk about it this video. We were talking about the short-term stuff so much, which is fun. It's fun to talk about the short-term stuff while it's relevant. But the next place we're going to is anywhere from 10 cents to 25 cents, 27 cents even. Something at new all-time highs is what I'm expecting. 10 cents is a minimum target. 18 cents, 17 cents is a likely area. 20 to 25 cents is also a pretty likely area as well. We're at 2.6 cents now, you guys. It can't do that, man. It won't do that. What do you call this? I'm asking for less than this. What do you say? It can do that. It can do it. Trust me. It can do that. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.